Hey, it's Kevin with the New Warehouse podcast here at MODEX 2026. Hey, it's Kevin with the New Warehouse podcast here at MODEX 2026, and I am in the enVista booth, and I am joined by both Mike and Suneel from enVista here, and we're going to learn a little bit about what enVista is up to, some of the latest of what they're showing in the booth, and we're going to talk a little bit about warehouse orchestration, interoperability, and I think we're also going to play tic-tac-toe with a robot potentially behind us here. But first, let's find out a little bit about enVista. Mike, tell us a little bit about what you all do.
Yeah, thanks Kevin for having us today. So enVista is a supply chain strategy company, and we also implement automation, implement systems, warehouse management, labor management, transportation systems, and then we also support those systems as well after we do integration. So we're a full end-to-end supply chain consultancy.
All right, fantastic. And then tell us a little bit about what's going on in the booth with you all this year.
Yeah, we have a vision-enabled robot here that we're demonstrating. One's pouring beverages, the other one's here playing tic-tac-toe, demonstrating just an automated picking arm with the vision system. And then we also have our autonomous magnetic platform, which is a moving magnetic floor that's automatically moving the pallets around, or can move cases around as well.
All right, interesting, and we'll take a look at those in a little bit, a little more intimately. But let's talk a little bit.
The other thing that we have, just real quick, we have our warehouse execution system that we're also demoing as well, called InMotion Plus.
Okay.
So, and that's demoed on the other side of the booth, but it's really about orchestrating orders and picking, and then managing capacity and rate throughout your warehouse. So a lot of our customers are interested in the WES, because that's actually controlling all of the automation in their warehouse, as well as the labor in their warehouse, integrating with their WMS and their warehouse control systems.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we see obviously a ton of automation here at the show, right? So that becomes increasingly important. So maybe Suneel, maybe you want to tell us a little bit about how you see warehouse orchestration kind of evolving in the material handling space.
Sure. If you attended some of the presentations that we have been doing as well as the other companies,
sure.
The theme is now automation has become more affordable, right? In the earlier years, you needed to have large warehouses with large amount of manpower to justify putting in automation equipment. But that threshold has come down very significantly. Even smaller warehouses can now benefit with automation, and the price is not going to be too prohibitive at smaller scales as well. Now with that, you need something, typically a WES, that optimizes across people, processes, and automation.
Okay. So
that's the value that a WES brings in. There's optimization, there is orchestration, and visibility. It's a layer over what traditional WMSs did not provide. Now that you can layer this on top of your existing WMS investment and leverage and make sure that you're getting maximum throughput from the automation equipment that you're deploying.
Got it.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about, from the WES perspective or the West perspective. I mean, where does that fit in, the sea of other acronyms, right? WMS. I mean, where does that layer kind of sit?
So there, if you're looking at four walls of the warehouse.
Sure.
So typically you talk about three types of software. There's the WMS, which everybody's familiar with that acronym, Warehouse Management System. Then there is the WCS, which is at the lowest level, talking at the PLC controllers, there were diverts and things like that.
Okay.
Handling that level. That's the warehouse control system. And in between those two sits WES. So typically the orders will be soft allocated at a WMS level and sent to WES. WES then optimizes that and orchestrates all types of agents. It could be a human agent, it could be a cobot, it could be AMR, it could be any of the automation agents.
Okay.
It will optimize and balance all of that to get maximum throughput out through the warehouse.
Got it. Okay, so the WS is kind of looking at all those different systems and the different things that are moving throughout our warehouse essentially, and making sure that we're optimizing that and operating as efficiently as possible.
Correct. Optimizing across all systems, not locally at the individual system level.
Yeah, so not siloed in a sense.
Right.
Almost, right. So very interesting there, and obviously very important, right? The more kind of systems that we bring into place and the more kind of assets we bring into place within the operations, and obviously, there's a ton of them around here that we could fill our warehouse up with, for sure. But tell us a little bit about, kind of interoperability too as well, because, when we think about multiple different systems or multiple different robotic applications, right? They're not all from the same vendor, right? So they need to be able to work together. So tell us about, where are we at in terms of interoperability, and how do you help with that?
Correct. So that's what AWS does. So it's not doing point-to-point connections to each of these different equipment, because that's not enough, like you mentioned, to make sure that you view the warehouse in totality to balance and optimize.
Okay.
So in order to do that, it has to make sure that there are proper handoffs between systems, because that's the orchestration part of WS comes in.
Right.
Right. So you may pick certain number of SKUs from a ASRS system, right, and then that order gets routed to a AMR system to be pick the remaining SKUs there, and then probably routed to a VAS station.
Yeah.
So having that total flow through the warehouse and optimize it so that all the different parts of the system work in synchronous way, so that one is not ahead of the other and it's arriving at the right time and merging at the right time. That's the part that WS will orchestrate and make sure it is functioning smoothly.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's super important, right, to be able to maintain that flow through the operation and not have that siloed effect that we kind of talked about earlier. So, do you see where you kind of go into operations sometimes, or you interface with companies where they haven't kind of implemented a system like this, and they have some of that siloed kind of interaction or disparate systems?
Yes. So, like I said, there's a lot more warehouses considering automation, or already have deployed some level of automation. And when we talk to our customers, they have a roadmap for automation. Very few will say, I don't want automation, right?
Yeah.
But they're very, also they want to do it in a very cautious and risk-averse way.
Yeah.
So introduce a little bit and not totally rip and replace kind of thing. So that's where a good WS can come into the picture, because it can kind of have provide that path, replacing different agents at different point of time. It could start off with a manual agent and then get replaced. For example, let's talk about a depalletizer, for example.
Sure.
So you might start off with manually depalletizing, and then the WS will orchestrate that for put away or whatever, or the reverse for shipping. It may be doing palletization, you may be doing manually.
Yeah.
And then for some heavier stuff, you may introduce a palletizing robot. So to be able to do that and not affect your entire system, just configure your WS to be able to treat that agent as a robotic agent.
Yeah.
And the flow and everything remains same. That's something that the WS can do. So it can give you a smooth ramp up on automation once you have a good WS in place.
Yes, yeah, absolutely, and great explanation there on the importance of that and what the WS can do for you. Now, I got a question for you, right? As you mentioned, there's people coming here and they're looking into automation or robotics for the first time. Can they implement automation or robotics without the WS, or would you recommend that they do that, or no?
So, depends on the complexity you have.
Sure.
The most simplest case, probably you can integrate directly. But when you have multiple automation equipment, you need a WMS to get the full bang for the buck that you have invested in your automation.
Yeah.
Right? because you might have, like I said, orchestrating between different types of automation is going to be important.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you might create choke points and backup in the warehouse.
Yeah, so kind of once you get to that maybe second solution that you're bringing in, and you need to have some kind of connectedness or communication between that, is really like the sweet spot. But ideally, you would start with the WES so that you don't end up in a siloed position.
Correct.
Right? Yeah. Okay.
Correct.
All right.
And that's what we're seeing. Most customers are looking at a roadmap.
Yeah.
And my personal opinion is, since about 2015, the automation scene drastically changed.
Yeah.
And the pace of new innovation for automation has taken off. And we see that here. Every year at MODEX, you're seeing something new.
Right.
So you want to make sure that whatever you're putting in, you're protected for the future as well. So you're not kind of stuck with an investment that with new technology comes in.
Right.
You're able to kind of upgrade and keep up with that as it evolves.
Yeah. You don't invest in something big and then you get stuck kind of like behind the times a little bit, right? In a sense. Okay. All right. And Mike, any thoughts on that you want to add?
Yeah, I think most of our customers that are implementing for automation, like a goods-to-person system for their each picking process, they probably also have some case picking as well.
Yeah.
And they're integrating with some sort of conveyor and sortation process. And the trick is, as Suneel was saying, is orchestrating the orders so that when they're released, you're making the best use of the automation and the conveyor system and the sortation system at the same time from an automation standpoint.
Right.
But there's also labor agents that are working out there as well on the WMS side. So the WES is communicating with the WMS to understand what the rates are in the case pick module or a different module that might not be automated, to make sure that everything's arriving to the dock at the same time for the customer, so then they can make sure that they make the service level agreements that they've agreed to for their customers. And not only that, it's providing predictability of when that order is going to be completed, right?
Yeah.
So now I'm releasing an order or many orders at a time, and the WES is deciding based on capacity and rate when those orders are going to be released, and then I have predictability as to when that order is going to be completed and loaded, so I understand when the completion of my day is going to be. So it's really a tool for the general manager and the supervisors and the leads to understand how to manage their warehouse going forward. Without that WES layer, then you're kind of managing blind or managing based on previous day, and that's not really a good way to measure your orders, especially when your orders change from day to day.
Absolutely, yeah, and you want to be proactive as possible, right, and kind of get some of that foresight, but also be in the moment, right? You don't want to manage, like you said, the previous day when I'm in today, right? I want to do what's available now. So very interesting to hear kind of what enVista does and the WES perspective as well, and how that orchestration kind of gets enabled, and obviously defining the importance of that orchestration. But how about we kind of see some stuff about what's going on in the booth here? Yeah, so why don't you tell us about what you're showing off here with this solution?
Yeah, so this particular robot is vision enabled, and it's playing tic-tac-toe. And some of our customers were playing tic-tac-toe so they could win a prize. And then what it's demonstrating is the vision capability of the bot being able to determine the differences between what it's picking up and putting down. Also the end-of-arm tooling that we do. So enVista is a FANUC dealer, and we also do the end-of-arm tooling for the robots. And then it's working with autonomous magnetic floors we talked about before. And these aren't moving right now, but they typically are. And there would be boxes on here, or if it was a larger scale, full pallets, where robots can be picking up cases and putting product on pallets. So we're actually in process of working on that with one of our customers today. All
right, interesting. And Suneel, you want to add something?
Yeah, if I can add what Mike said about the platform. The typical use case would be when you're building a rainbow pallet for a customer.
Right.
So you have the customer pallet on one side, and you have the platform bring in the different SKUs on demand, and then a robot would automatically build the rainbow pallet, which is based on a palletization module, which will determine how to stack those different boxes of different sizes. So you can these two will work in conjunction.
Got it.
So you're eliminating the need to have people bring in different pallets at different times, and that the platform can handle the movement.
I see. And the platform can also handle kind of the mixed case in there. You said rainbow pallets, so
Right.
kind of mixed case and variability that's coming into it.
So to the customer pallet,
Yeah.
right. So it is building a rainbow pallet. Typically, that's a good use case for this type of application.
Got it. All right. So very interesting to see this here, and then I think we're going to go to the other side of the booth to see another solution.
Sure.
Yeah. Learn a little bit more about enVista from Mike. So Mike, tell us a little bit. What are some of the other offerings of enVista?
Yeah, Kevin, one of the most common problems our customers are asking us to solve for them is where should our distributions be, how distribution centers be, how big they should be, what inventory and what SKUs should be stored in, and what distribution centers, what level they should be, so product placement. And we're solving those problems for our customers all the time. Woven into that from it's not just a node to node transportation study, it's also what SKU is going on every truck. So we are going down to the detail level of every order and from a receipt standpoint and an outbound standpoint on the outbound orders to really understand a customer's outbound network and their inbound network to optimize their supply chain. So we've built multi-echelon supply chains for a lot of our customers, building hub and spoke networks. And then along with that project, what's very, very common is that they want us to do a facility design as well to understand what the inside of those facilities should look like. Because when we're building a total cost model as part of a supply chain network analysis, how large that facility is, and then also what sort of automation is going to go into that facility is extremely important. So before we were talking about conveyance, goods to person systems, palletizers, depalletizers, talking about the AMP, the autonomous magnetic floor. Those are all things that may go into one of our customers' facilities. And I think the critical piece to manage all of that is, from an implementation standpoint and an operation standpoint, is our warehouse execution system, as Suneel was mentioning before.
All right. And I think we're going to get a closer look at that warehouse execution system now. So Mike, thank you. And I think we're going to bring Suneel in to give us a little demo here. Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
Suneel, welcome back.
Thank you, Kevin.
All right. So are you going to show us kind of what the warehouse execution system looks like here?
Definitely. In this section of the booth, we are showcasing our WES.
Okay.
And I'll start off with this part, which is the simulation and the digital twin capabilities. So in this mode, you're looking at a digital twin for a cross-belt sorter.
Okay.
So this is actually getting the scans from the readers and then showing it in a digital way of exactly what's going on at each of these stations. There's a Pictolite station over here, and then these are all the chutes in the cross-belt sorter. And this is a very good example of what we were able to do is through simulations, and not just with cross-belt sorter, with all sorts of other equipment as well. And you'll see that come by a little bit. When we go in with network design, we complement that, and we can do a simulation with the customer's order profile. We can set it up and do a simulation with the customer's order profile, so they can actually see what to expect from that equipment for their profile, because the order profile matters a lot on the throughput of any automation equipment.
Sure, yeah.
So we can simulate for different times. Some customers have seasonal peaks, and so we'll be able to, and the order profile changes during different parts of the season.
Yeah.
So this will be able to kind of simulate that and show what can be done or what to expect from that type of automation. So you kind of pre-validate it before you go in and kind of invest. So here's an example of a digital twin for an ASRS or an ASRS with AMRs. So these are the different kinds of visibility that you can get.
Yeah.
So what's happening actually on the floor, you don't have to walk up to the floor and see what's happening. You'll be getting a visibility right from wherever you are.
Interesting. And this is real time happening.
This is real time.
Interesting. So you mentioned the sensors in there, right? So what does that look like, and what does bringing these sensors into place, what does that kind of project look like?
So there are different types of IoT
Sure.
devices based on it could be simple scanners, barcode scanners, and and we also kind of receive, for example, with AMRs,
Okay.
we receive continuous feedback on when it's picked up from storage,
Yeah.
and when it's bringing it down, and when it deposits to a pick station. So it's continuously feeding those information to RWAS, and we are using that to optimize and also at the same time do a digital twin from what's happening on the floor of the warehouse.
Got it. Okay. So really interesting to see, this year, and obviously the digital twin, giving a lot of greater visibility, and also that simulation helping you to understand, like, if you make certain changes, right, to be able to, what that will look like and how to react or prepare for that, right, in that sense. But you also mentioned in the crossbelt sorter here, some pick to light too, as well. I think we got pick to light right here behind us. So you want to tell us a little bit about that?
That's right. This is light again. We call Enlighten, and
Enlighten. Yes.
That's
okay.
why
All right.
we supply that as well. The features of this pick to light is that one is we avoid mechanical buttons.
Okay.
So if you can see that is capacitor based buttons.
Oh.
So there's no mechanical movement there, which obviously gives a lot more durability to the lights, and more importantly, less fatigue for the operators.
Yeah.
So they're not pressing and having fatigue.
Yeah.
So it reduces that. The other important feature for us here is we have this side lights as well.
Side lights. Okay.
So because if you imagine a bank of these locations bins.
Sure.
So and when you scan, when your product comes in and you scan this queue, you don't have to just go hunting which light is on. So from the side view, you will be able to see which light is on. So that way it kind of improves productivity. Because you're directly going to the location where you need to be.
Interesting. So talk to us a little bit about, where does pick to light fit in, with some of the other automation solutions? When do you choose one versus the other?
It's a great question. So pick to light has somewhat universal application. So let's we saw here it's being used along with a cross-belt sorter.
Yeah.
Similarly, it can be used with a ASRS automation as well, because when a ASRS delivers a SKU tote, inventory tote, by optimizing and using pick to light with like order or based on the order likeness or similarities, you can maximize throughput for that one delivery of the tote. You're not, and you're kind of reducing the recall of the same tote multiple times during the day.
Yeah.
So it comes in once, you maximize the picks, what we call the grab quantity for each stop.
Sure.
So that's where it can be used as in a pick to light situation, or a sort to light, or put to light as it's called. You can either bring the inventory and sort it to different orders, or you can have the order tote flowing to the picker, and then they pick based on their lights. So it's both put to light and pick to light applications.
Got it. All right. Well, very interesting to see the West in action here with the digital twin and the simulation, and hear about how you can actually leverage that and utilize that to better your operation and get that better optimization, and also learn a little bit more about what enVista is doing and what you offer for the supply chain and the warehouse arena. So really appreciate you having us at the booth here, Suneel, and Mike too, who's out there as well. And it was a pleasure to learn more about enVista. If people want to get in touch or they want to learn more, what's the best way to do that?
So best way is to contact us through our website, and we'll have, and if you leave a brief message about what you're interested in, we can have the right person get in touch with you with to follow up and set up further conversations. Because enVista has a wide variety of offerings,
Sure.
so knowing what you're interested in and what problem you're trying to solve, we're not expecting you to say, I need Pictolite, because that should not be your problem statement.
Yeah.
So your problem statement is trying to optimize your throughput in your warehouse or whatever it is that you're looking for. And then we can get the right group within enVista engaged and take it from there.
All right, fantastic and good advice. Come to enVista with a problem and they will give you the solution. So we'll put all the information about enVista at thenewwarehouse.com as well as in the show notes here. So Suneel, thank you. And thank you to the enVista team for having us come by.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning into today's video here on our YouTube channel, The New Warehouse Podcast, and I appreciate you tuning in. If you liked what you saw, make sure you subscribe to our channel, and if you like this video in particular, make sure you like it as well. And if you want to get this great t-shirt that you see in the video behind me, Warehouses Are Sexy, head to warehousesAreSexy.com and get your own.